everybody, to another Georgia Archery podcast. I'm your host, Big John Chandler, and this is where we talk about anything and everything to do with archery in the state of Georgia and Georgia archers, wherever they may shoot. And as you can see, I have I have a podcast, a regular now, I'm assuming. Uh,
I'm
oh,
gonna need my own nickname here. Here,
oh,
the next one we're gonna have to come up with a new nickname or something.
so DeWayne from down there at the Empire, right? The Empire.
Saltwater City.
That's right. Down there at Richmond Hill area where they have their shoots. He's just hanging out with me again. I see he's got him a good beverage. I got me a good beverage, and we're going to town. Man, how's your week been so far, man?
It's been eventful.
To say the least. Well,
To
you got
say
to
the
tell us. You
least.
got to tell us all about it now.
Well, yeah. So my week started off with my wife. My wife generally travels the beginning of the week. She goes out of town. She usually leaves on like a Monday morning. So I give her a call about 3:30 and tell her I'm on my way to the emergency room, and it freaks her the heck out. So
Oh,
yeah. So, anyways, I was out there getting ready for this weekend's ASA Tri-State qualifier that we are holding. I was cutting some lanes and things like that, and getting things ready. Setting targets and everything like that. Everything that we all love to do, but we dread to do at the same time.
oh yeah.
And I got this unique tool that I use for brush cutting, and it's a very unique tool. It's kind of like a you know I don't know how to describe things. It's medieval to say the least, and
Okay.
so that thing decided to bite me,
Yep.
and yeah, so it was interesting. It was a
So
fun
so
time. Yeah, yeah. So
so,
anyway,
so let's see where it bit you at.
oh yeah, you want to? Are we allowed
Go
to show
ahead.
this?
Yeah. Go
Like
ahead.
it was nice. So I
All right.
got a nasty. I'm gonna have me a nice archery tattoo in about 6 months. When this thing all heals up, I'm gonna do a nice archery tattoo with over these 10 staples right here.
I hear
That's
you. That sucker
so
cuts a clean
anyways,
line.
it was clean.
That's a
The
clean line.
doctor even said that. The
That's a
doctor was like, "Man, that's a super clean cut right there." I was like, "Yeah, that was a fresh blade."
oh, oh me. Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes a whole lot of fun, right?
Yeah.
So this weekend for me, let's see. I worked on Saturday. I ran around, did some stuff on um the um I grilled for the first time.
I was fixing to say, I thought I seen something on the grill.
Yeah, I grilled for the first time in a while.
Yeah.
And so I grilled some chicken and some brats, some beer brats, and some chicken, which I my own bourbon barbecue sauce on it. So it was pretty
Okay.
good.
Yeah. I need to break my smoker out. I haven't done nothing. The last time I used mine, it was about a month ago. I did a deer neck that I needed to go ahead and just it's just been it was just sitting in the deep freezer and I needed to get it done. So I just broke it out. But I need to break my smoker out. Yeah.
I hear you. But yeah, so that's what we did this weekend. Pretty much been I didn't do too much. We had some kids shooting different places for that I was watching and keeping up with this weekend because the S3DA had their last shoot of the year. We'll talk about that in a minute, but you know, and then I went to work on Tuesday, and it's just like any other Tuesday. It's like anybody's Monday. Tuesday is my Monday,
Sure.
and as soon as you open the door, anybody from the weekend needs something fixed or they tore up or whatever, and we went from there.
That's right.
And then I had homeschool classes started today, so we do a homeschool class. Um, it's eight classes, back to back. We
Okay.
do start with a beginner and an intermediate and advanced, so they all get So we had 17 in the beginner class, which was a lot of kids.
17 homeschoolers.
Yep. And then
Wow.
I ended up with I don't know, about 10 in the next class was the intermediate.
Okay.
And then I think eight or nine in the advanced class. So,
Man, that's super cool.
But yeah, I do it twice a year, um, so for 8 weeks.
Okay. You need
So
to we need to talk about that. I just so I just put in a application to get a beginner I guess I think I can't remember what they call it. Anyway, the beginner equipment stuff
yeah,
for my indoor range for
yeah,
kids.
yeah,
So that's in the works, that's in the process. So
yeah.
that's what we're working on now. I want to get some kids in, in
Well,
inside the indoor range and start the same thing that you're doing.
when we talk about kids, I mean, the thing about it is you have there is a 4-H groups, there's JOADs, there's S3DAs, there's lots of things for kids to do.
That's right.
But homeschool is from home. They're not tied to like 4-H comes out of regular school system, right? So
Right.
they see the papers and see the stuff as it's sent home with them, but homeschoolers don't see that. So this was a way I had it's a co-op. What happens is a co-op for homeschool, and they asked me to do this couple of 3 years ago now, and so I put it on, which was pretty good. Because they're looking for something. They use
Sure.
it's their PE. I mean, it actually
Right.
counts as
Yeah.
PE credits. So,
That's right.
and I could have taken twice as many beginners this time. Um,
Really?
I had to turn down probably 15 to 18 more students because I can't handle that many.
Wow.
So,
That's
next
interesting.
next year I may end up having to do 2 beginner classes
Okay.
just to get everybody going.
Yeah.
But
And and listen, and we all know as soon as like I don't know what the ratio is, but I can tell you this: as soon as you put a bow in a kid's hand,
oh yeah,
there's a spark.
oh for sure,
You know what I'm saying? There's a spark. I mean, in archery is very unique in aspect is it's not a team sport, but it is a team sport.
oh yeah, we support each other.
Exactly.
But
You
the
know,
only person that you can be mad at is yourself.
is you. That's it. So I think that it appeals to a very unique group of individuals, kids included, that it
Yeah,
appeals to, and we just need to be tapping into that. And I think that's a good avenue.
yeah. So you don't have look. You ain't got to be the fastest, the tallest, the heaviest, the whatever. And I
One
always
hundred
tell the parents the best thing about it is that target's not going to give me a concussion. I'm not. It's not.
exactly.
It's
That's
not.
right.
It's not going to tackle me. I'm not gonna get a concussion over it. And parents love that. And I also tell some of the kids, I was like, the best part about archery is what? We don't have to run.
We ain't got to run. We ain't got
No,
to do nothing. We ain't got to
no.
do nothing. You know,
And,
I
and
get
the,
phone calls because I put our range on Google. So now we're on Google now. So if you Google Coastal Empire Archers, we pop up, right?
yep, yep,
And so I get phone calls religiously, and I'm just not equipped to do that. So
yeah,
that the amount the
yeah.
volume of calls that I'm getting right now
That's right.
kind of sparked me to want to do it. That's the reason why I put the application in, and I'm getting the Genesis bows
That's right.
and the whole tri archery setup is
That's right.
coming to Coastal Empire, and by
That's awesome.
indoor season next year, we'll be set up
Yep.
to be able to take some kids in.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, so the kids are the way to go. It's the growth of the sport. And I'll tell you, my turnover rate is really great because I got kids right now that started in the beginner class and have went to become S3DA state champs
That's
and
awesome,
S3DA podium shooters. So, and U.S. archery, you know, champions. So,
right?
in FAA second place. So first place. It moved them to they never even thought about it. And it's the funniest thing. We always tell them archery's like crack, right? It's
Man,
it's it's like crack, dude.
oh yeah.
You
Believe
get
me, I'm addicted.
there's no doubt about it, right? It's crazy, but yeah. So I mean, I think the kids that shoot are, that's the. I mean, if we don't grow the sport, it'll die. And kids is the way to grow the sport. You
It
know.
is. It is.
Oh,
There's another avenue, but we'll talk about that later too.
oh well, yeah. Well, that's been brought up a million times, and we'll get
Yeah,
to that for sure. We'll
that's
probably
right.
get that on the halfway mark.
There you
But
go.
yeah. So man, we sound like we both had pretty good weekends, except at least you're all stapled up and you've been working and
Yeah.
back to work and doing your thing. And
Yeah.
I've been back to work and doing my thing. And we've texted a few times back and forth of throwing ideas around of different things that we would like to see to help grow this sport. We're not going to talk about the anyway. I'm not going to talk about your post, unpost, repost, video. But I don't understand why you like stirring the pot so, man.
It's not my intention.
I know. I
I'm
told you.
very passionate about what I do. And when I get involved in something,
You
I get
four
very passionate about it.
all 4 feet in
Like,
it, and
I
you
love
just get to
listen, I
cooking.
love everybody and everything
That's
that
right,
encompasses archery, okay?
100%.
All
I
right.
tell you, that's the funniest part. But let's go to what the normal podcast is. I
Okay.
mean, yes, this is part of it, but we want to cover who shot this past weekend. Well, like I said before, the U.S. Archery Indoor Nationals hosted in Florida, and there were a truckload of kids down there that shot. I saw, I just lost her name from down there. She finished second.
Audrey did?
Audrey finished second. I saw
Did
that.
she?
Yeah,
Okay, Audrey Overton. What so
Overton.
she's been playing. She's been
Yeah,
back and forth
yeah.
with bow hunter
I
and
know,
free.
and open. Yes, I know she's been back and forth.
So what did she shoot? I didn't even see
I
what
don't
she
I
shot.
don't know. I have to pull it back up, but I did see she was like in second. So
Okay. Okay.
that's a pretty good time. I'm just I'll be nice and go through the list real quick. Let's see compound. You U18 women. She shot a 1079. That's nine.
1079.
That's 19 tens, which, if y'all want to know, U.S. Archery scores that little bitty X is the 10 ring.
Mm-hmm.
And then everything else is nine. And she had 84 nines. So,
Hmm.
but it's funny. Georgia set first, second, and third from that regional. I mean,
Really?
that's the way I call it. Yeah. So Ella Ramsey finished first, and Audrey finished second, and Raphael. I'm just going to murder that name. Finished third. So just leave that alone. Um, and James Knight, right? Uh,
Yes.
he went
Yes.
down there. He finished second.
Did he really?
Yeah,
Good for him.
and Jaden Rodriguez, he finished third. So that's a U15. So
Hmm.
yeah, there was a whole bunch of Georgians that were on the podium for that region. So don't get me wrong, it's a long story. You don't really win a medal. It's like sectionals. You remember how we shoot?
Oh yeah.
Sectionals.
Oh,
So
100%. That's
so it
right.
works. So it works all sectional. So essentially, there's no award for it until they stick them all together. So we all figure out where they fall at the end, and they got one or two more before we figure out where everybody falls at. So that's pretty good.
Okay.
But the S3DA indoor regional, the last indoor regional, they started on Friday and they had Saturday, and they ended up with 105 shooters.
Holy moly.
They had a Friday night 6 o'clock line, and then they had multiple lines on Saturday. It was 105 shooters.
105.
Yeah.
Good night.
So I mean, that's a
Now,
lot of
where was that shot at?
feathers and antlers up in Commerce.
Oh, in Commerce, up
Yep.
there with Bow
Scott.
Top. Old
Oh,
Bow Top
Scotty.
up there.
Yeah, Scotty. Bo Boy.
Oh,
That's
Bow
his,
Boy.
that's
Yeah.
his hat brand. So yeah, so that was this weekend, and then RBO had a 2-day shoot. Rob,
He had an awesome
we
turnout.
talked Scott. Scott puts out a phenomenal shoot. Always does.
That's right.
And he always contributes to his team. His team is great, a bunch of great guys and girls that help him out. But he had 96 shooters for over the weekend of 2 days.
Yes. And that was a 2-day. He was a 2-day event.
Two-day event for him.
Man, I've got to make it out there again. I've got to get back out there and shoot his range, man.
Yep.
I liked his range. I've only shot it one time. I've got to make it back out there and shoot it because it is a very unique
Well, here's the thing:
range to shoot.
you shot it, but yet you shot it at state, right?
Yes, I shot it at state. Yes.
So you shot in the bottom.
I did. I shot in. I
You
guess
don't.
I guess
Yeah,
what's considered the bottom
on the
when you go
left
down
side
the
of the
road
road.
down to the left.
Okay, you
Yep.
never shot the top side.
I don't even know what the top side is. So
So turn to the right up that mountain.
okay, so that was the
The
unknown
short,
course that
yeah,
year.
and yes, well, that's what I'm saying. You've never shot that, so you've really only seen 1/3 of what he can offer. It's
Right.
ridiculous. He has that bottom covered, canopied, wet bottom, whatever, and you go to the top, and you're like up here like this to shoot up some of those hills.
So it's like Kentucky.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you turn around, and then he turns it to come back down, and so you're shooting sort of at an angle off of it, so you're actually sitting a little bit, you know,
Okay.
it's pretty cool. So
Yeah.
he offers, I mean, he's got it so he can arrange it, and then like sometimes he'll do half in the bottom, half in the top. So now you got to play with all of it.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, he has some cool stuff, and he always does a great job, and you can tell by the numbers that he draws.
Oh
So,
God, yeah. I mean, he's around 100 shooters every
oh yeah,
every every
yeah.
month. He's around 100 shooters.
So on Saturday, Appling Archers had their meeting and a fun shoot. It sounded like they had a good time. Um, I know some guys that shoot over there, so they said they had a good time. So,
Okay.
Ogeechee Bowman, you shot
I did.
ASA
Woo,
ASA qualifier.
woo. That was rough. Woo.
So 42 shooters.
That I'm going to preface that with saying 3 years ago we started, and I say we because I'm still a member of Evgeni Bowman, even though
Yep.
I
You have your own
run
thing. Yep.
exactly, even though I run Coastal Empire.
Yep.
So Evgeni Bowman's is very dear to my heart because my dad was an Evgeni Bowman since the 80s.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and I talked them into doing ASA, to getting into ASA
About
about
3 years ago.
years ago.
I remember that.
Okay, we were probably only pulling in 19, maybe 20 shooters.
I was gonna say I remember a state championship that was held down there with 12 shooters.
12 shooters. That's
I
right.
remember that.
And ever since that I, brought the ASA idea back down south, Evgeni Bowman has slowly started getting their numbers back up. And
Yep.
42 shooters is probably, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's probably the most shooters they've had at a 3D event in a very long time.
Yeah.
So
So
that's pretty good.
It's working, right?
It's working.
It's
It is
working.
working. Yes, it is.
So yeah, they did that, and so those two were on Saturday, and on Sunday, Owen at Outback
Out back.
had his shoot, and he had 31 archers,
That's good.
and then Rocky Creek had their shoot again, because they
Yes.
had moved it because of the weather,
Right.
and they ended up with about 22 shooters.
I was able to go to that one.
Yep.
Yeah. So I went to that one. It was
Saturday you were one place, and Sunday you were another.
right. I didn't like what my so
Yeah.
obviously I'm shooting a completely different bow than
What you have been running for a while because
yeah,
you're using indoor
completely.
versus
So
3D. Yeah.
yeah, so my indoor bow is put up. I built a 3D bow, so I'm shooting the Exalt LD, and I didn't like the way it shot on Saturday.
Yep.
So that made me go to the shop and change some things, and I made a decision to go out to Kaylee's and shoot. And some of the changes I made I liked, some of them I didn't like, but I was able to, hit more 12 rings. And let me tell you something, for just a club shoot, Kaylee sets a pro style range for your 50-yard shooters. I don't know about the 45-yard shooters or the 40-yard shooters, but I'm shooting from the tips.
But
And
you understand, right?
wow.
That is for her to practice.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean,
100%.
not all of 100%. It's for her to practice for
Mhm.
the shoot. So
That's
it's
right.
understandable.
And that's what she said.
And
You
she
know,
does it. And
she
she
came
does.
down here and talked to me.
It's always been a great shoot. They've always done a good job. The lanes are clean.
Yeah.
Nice people, nice things, the whole thing. I haven't got down there in a year or so. So I need to get down that way. But you know how it is. You think,
It's a blessing for us to have something within. So her place is about little over 2 hours,
yeah,
and that's a blessing for us. Like
oh yeah,
so, obviously, Po' Boys isn't no more, and that was kind of like our go-to down here was Po' Boys and Rocky Creek
yep.
because they're just over
Just
two
enough,
hours.
just enough that it wasn't like a long. It could be a day trip, not die from doing it. Yep,
That's right.
I understand.
So so now our I think our closest outside of us is Bullseye. I think maybe down in where's that at? Is that Valdosta? I think
Yeah.
is it Valdosta? Something like. So we're looking at 3.5, 4 hours, something like that.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Anyways,
Yep. But that's what's going on. You alluded to one other thing that's growing the sport of archery. At the beginning, and now we're in the middle. So
okay.
let's talk about it. And I'm just gonna straight say it. Me and Robbie sat right here and said, when we went to TAC, that's going to kill tournament archery. Period.
Oh gosh. Oh
TAC
man.
TAC is going to kill tournament archery.
Oh, are we going to do this right now?
Um, well, after your post on Facebook went ridiculously crazy, and if people don't know, you were trying your best. I know what you were trying to do,
Oh
and I
God, yeah,
understand completely.
yeah,
But it did get blown out of proportion, and so be it. But
right.
I will stand here and sit here and tell you the same thing. I still believe today that if TAC adds up their number of people, not people who participate twice, but single individuals
Sure,
on their 22 shoots.
sure.
Let's just do it off their 11 shoots from last year.
Okay.
They will be triple what ASA has minimum, right? Because they're spread across the country,
Yes, yes,
and people go to one or two, they don't go to all of them.
absolutely,
You can't
absolutely.
tell me that when I show up in an ASA, I'm going to see, you can't tell me that I won't see the same people at 7 shoots, at
Okay,
6
so
shoots.
yeah, so this is, man. So I'm fixing to jump in the frying pan with this.
No, but
So
look, am I wrong for what I'm
no,
saying?
absolutely not. So this is the way I see it. When I first started this, I had a hunting bow in my hand, right? And
That's
I
right.
think the
100%.
majority of people that started their archery or competition, quote unquote, competition archery journey
Yep.
started with a hunting bow in
Hunting
their
bow.
hand.
100%.
100%, right? And it gravitated into what we're doing now today. Okay,
Tournament.
my
Tournament.
my first national was Foley, I think 5 years ago. Okay, and this was the first year it came back from COVID, so the numbers were kind of down. It wasn't, it
Yep.
wasn't. From
Yep.
what I understand, it wasn't
That's
like it
big.
was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you something. I was starstruck, and I even did
Of
a YouTube
course.
video of it. It's on my YouTube channel.
Yep.
And since then,
Yep.
okay, so since then, now when I go, I can see exactly how small the community is.
Oh yeah.
Because when I first went, it was huge. It was bigger than life. It was,
Oh
oh my
yeah.
God, all these people. But now when I go, it's like, it's the same people. It's the
That's right.
same
Hundred
people
percent.
every shoot, every time we go. And don't get me wrong, I love seeing these people, right?
Oh
And I
yeah,
love
I mean it's we've done it for years. I mean, and we all did it. I mean, it's
that's
and we
exactly
and
right.
we still love it. I'm not knocking what they do. That's not don't I'm not taking anything away from what they do. Right?
No, no, absolutely not. And I'm going, and hell, I'm going next weekend.
That's right.
I booked the beach house, and I'm taking seven. I'm taking the wife, and my mama's going. I mean, we're taking a whole bunch of people, and
Oh
we're
yeah.
going again.
That's right.
But I can tell you this, 100%. I can tell you this from my understanding, and I've never been to a TAC, but I know a lot of people that's been to TAC, and I know vendors that go to TAC, and I know, all these other people that go to TAC. And let me tell you something: if ASA doesn't find a way to tap in
To attack people.
to that to those that group of people,
Yep.
they're missing the boat. They are missing the boat.
And I
And that's
do,
what
and
I was trying to do with, with my whole post
I
and
know,
everything. I'm trying to get people that have those bows, that have those tack setups, that have all that to come out and see what ASA is all about, because I'm an ASA club, right? So our club's
yep,
an ASA club.
that's right,
Come out and see what it's about.
that's right.
And then, but there's a place for you, because
Right.
ASA, how long's that class been around?
Only,
The
I think
hunter,
it's 2 years. You said 3, but I still think it's only 2.
it may be.
The mover class ain't been out there that long.
It may
Cause I
be.
thought,
It
cause
may
I
be.
thought to my, I
I
thought
do
to
know
myself,
that there were a couple of shoots last year. Well, I do know there was a couple of shoots last year that I got approached and asked why I went semi-pro and didn't stay in my and didn't move up, because I shot pins 40 for a couple of years,
yep,
and it's a hunting class, right? So
yeah,
it's a hunting
for
bow,
sure. Well,
and they, a couple of people were asking why I didn't go to that 45-yard class, because they were needing people to shoot. They only had like 9 or 10 people in that class
yep,
at a national,
that's right.
So I
Well,
don't know.
see, I think that was the reason the ad happened, right, with the mover,
Sure.
because of equipment, right? I mean, that's why. I mean, speed limit, had to move because it's hard to get a hunting bow, down to 285, 280.
Oh yeah.
I
Oh
mean,
God.
really, at this day and age, it's hard to do.
That's right.
But unless you're going to shoot low poundage, whatever, But what I'm saying is your normal routine, it's not going to happen. I mean,
No.
everybody's at that 300, 298, 290, that's just the normal. Um, but it's easy for kids to get up to the speed now when we couldn't used to, right? So it's,
Yeah.
and that's cool. But I will say that it's a different group of people. Just like last week when I talked about the stick and stringers. And me and you talked about this on telephone. It's a different group of people.
Sure.
They had a big crowd last weekend at their trad shoot. Why? Because they didn't have to wait on the guy to stand there, pull his rangefinder out, hit the button, move his sight, click it to where it needed to be, draw his bow. I've heard that, and I'm that guy, right? I'm that guy.
I feel accosted. Yeah, like
Yeah,
I feel like
I'm that guy. But I've heard this from all of the stick and stringers. He's like,
sure.
I
Yeah.
ain't got time to be playing behind them guys. He said, I'll shoot 5 freaking targets by the time they get one shot.
Yeah, that's right.
He said, because I just draw back, shoot my bow, and be done with it. Walk down there, pull it in, and go. And so you don't get them, right? You don't get the stick and stringers transferred over on, ASA tournaments. And then they did them, they closed that class out for a little while,
That's right.
because they wouldn't get enough participation. But the reason being is because they were trying to run it like everybody else. And they're like, dude, we can shoot both. We can shoot both of our 20 targets in the same amount of time that them guys get one done.
Yeah, that's exactly where it takes us four and
And
a
you
half
can,
hours
and
to
you can
shoot
have,
20 targets.
he says,
Yeah.
I promise you could have 100 stick and stringers and we'd still get it all done.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's the same. So it's the same mindset on the other side with I bring my hunting bow and I show up to an event like ASA and you see all those guys with long stabilizers and mover sights and oh my God, I can't compete with that. I'm
Can't
not going to go play. I'm not going to go play that game. Right.
Yes. Yes.
And so it's the intimidations factor but when you show up to a TAC event, which I've only been to one, but I did go to the bow hunter, the
The
bow
boat take rally.
tech rally, which
Right.
was another type event like that. And I will say that everybody's like-minded. We're all hunters with hunting bows, right? And we laughed and giggled. And I'm not a mountain goat and climbing those mountains
Sure.
were, oh my God, because I'm a fat guy. But I made it through, had a great time. And I watched people, there was people ahead of us. I don't know if we shot 25 targets, and I can't tell you if they hit one of them.
Sure.
But I promise you, they hit a bunch of trees in front of us because we'd hear them, ching, ting, ting, ting. But
Right.
they was laughing, giggling, and having a great time the whole time.
And I think, and that's exactly what I was trying to do
Yes, to
at the beginning
bring
of the
that
week.
group into
Listen,
the other group. Yep. Yep.
I stay, Wildcat Archery is our shop down here, right?
Yep.
So whenever I got some free time early in the season, or the beginning of hunting season, he gets swamped. I go in there and try and
Oh
help him,
yeah.
things like that. I can't tell you the amount of people that come in that shop
Yep.
that you never see again,
100%.
and
Well,
they live
you don't
right here.
you don't see them in the archery
No,
community. No.
no, you'll never see them again unless they come in that shop and they
To
need
get some
they
more
need someone
arrows
for
or
their.
get some more something. Yep, 100%.
That's right. So that's what prompted all of this was me turning around asking, obviously, Bill Hindeman owns that shop, and so I'm asking Bill, and I'm going, man, what's the deal? How many of these are we doing a year? And he's like, so his numbers were like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where are these people at? So let's do something for these people. Like, so that was what started the whole thing.
Well,
So
I liked your analogy of you buy a Ferrari and then you park it in the garage for, you only bring it out you only bring it out 3 days a year or,
yep,
5 times or, you really don't get the test of do of what you want to do and you shoot in your backyard
yep,
without anybody or anything. And you're king of your backyard, don't get me wrong. And then this is what happens in our shop. They buy a great bow. They're king of their backyard until they miss that first deer.
that's right.
And then they show up at the shop and say, something's got to be wrong with this bow.
Something's wrong with this bow.
100%. Something's wrong with this bow. Put it through its paces, stand out there, and they just pound and pound and pound. And I'm like, have you ever shot, like outside of just in your backyard or with other people or any type of pressure situations? And they're like, no, I ain't never done that. It's like, well, you need to come shoot our 3D shoot, or you need to come shoot our league night, or just to come, and we don't care. The league night's fun because the guys go, well, I can't compete with that stuff. I said, you have your own class. We have a hunting class. Those guys show up with their hunting bows as long as it's your hunting. Now you look, and I went, mine ain't 23s. I'm hunting arrows with screw in tips. It's not,
Yes, yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes, 100%. And
Yeah.
that's how most of everybody started.
Yeah. 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 But
I got a couple of phone calls this week, and with people wanting to come out and observe. And I
uh,
said, look, man, bring your bow.
that's right there.
Bring your
Have
bow.
fun.
Okay. Yeah, we have a place for you.
That's
You
right.
will have fun. I promise you. You
That's
bring your bow, whatever your arrow
right.
you're shooting with, whatever bow you're shooting with, whatever release
Well,
you're
the
shooting
same
with.
same same
You
thing
know,
with the event the other day that was sort of the night of the first night, whatever, Saturday night later after the GBAA was done, and
sure.
that was the same thing. That was catered toward bow hunters.
Yes. Yes.
40
Yes.
people showed up. We just talked about a couple of clubs that didn't have 40 people showed up to an ASA or a regular 3D shoot, right? And not knocking them, but these are 40 people who don't shoot indoor. they don't
Yes.
they don't
Yes.
shoot indoor for crap. But they're like, hey, there's a little money on the line, and it's a target that looks like what I shoot on my target at home.
That's right.
So let's go
And
try
it's
it.
something to do on a Saturday night.
That's right. And
Yeah.
that was the cool part about it. So yeah, I'm 100% agreement with you. But all of that being said, is there's some stuff in the works.
Yes.
Okay, that's
Yes.
all.
That sparked a fire down here, and I've talked to a couple of people, and I acquired some land, and we're gonna figure some things out. So we're gonna do some things for these TAC guys. Is what we're gonna do.
That's right.
100%. Yeah.
So more to come on that. So get everybody hung on it.
Sure.
It's looking. I mean, me and you've talked. Like I said, we've talked several times, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be a great thing if we can get it. We just got to get all the pens and papers and all the bells and whistles put before DeWayne goes out there and says, "This is what I'm going to do," and he gets 6 phone calls and says, "Wait a minute, you can't do it because of this. You can't do it because of that."
Yeah.
So we're gonna iron out all P's and Q's and help him, before trying to make sure that we cover all the land mines before they show up. But anyway, let's get on to the rest of the thing. Who is shooting this weekend, Dwayne? You got a list there.
Well, we got let's see. Well, the big shoot this weekend is let's see, the NFAA Indoor Nationals in Chicago.
Is it
It's,
big? Really?
yes.
825 archers.
Is what really? Was that
Eight,
the numbers?
that's the numbers. 825 as of registered. Yep.
They got to do something about that.
It was, I
They have,
think it's, I mean, and I'm just going to throw it out there. I think it's because it's in Chicago in the middle of winter. Who wants to go to Chicago in the middle of winter?
yeah, I mean, it could be. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I've never been to indoor nationals.
My favorite shoot.
I want to go to
To
indoor
take
nationals. Like,
kids to.
yes, I want to go to indoor nationals. I want to experience indoor nationals, and I've been shooting really good indoor. But let me tell you something. Being and I probably would have went this year because I shot really well indoor this year.
Yep.
But with it being in Chicago, that just completely turned me off.
100%.
100%, it turned me off. It
And I
really.
understand that, but yeah, and it's turned a lot of people off because they had about 1,000, 1,100, 1,200 usually every year, and now
That's right.
we're at eight something. So,
Talk
um,
about can we talk about those numbers before we go into I don't want to like delve into the complete whole deal, but
yep,
what were the numbers what do you know 10 years ago what were indoor national numbers?
12 to 15,
Okay.
roughly.
Are we seeing the right now are we seeing the demise of indoor nationals NFAA?
You done heard me say this, so
No. I
you
think it needs to be said though. I just need to know.
I think that they're trying to kill it. I really do. I think
Uh,
that
okay.
if you watch the numbers, when NFAA Nationals was the event,
Okay.
Vegas used to have 7, 8, 900,000 people. And then they figured out how to make Vegas Vegas,
Okay.
the prestige event.
Sure.
And in this motel and then this motel and then moved out off the strip to a big place that we could all be in one place. Was there for 11 years, I think, 10, 11 years.
Hmm.
And the numbers jumped every year. I remember I went to Vegas with 1,500 people, and I went to Vegas with 3,000 people. That's a big jump in a few years, right? And then at the same time, NFAA Nationals went from the 2,000 number to the 1,500 number to the 1,100, 1,200 number, and then this is like sad.
Sure.
I mean,
Yeah.
I hate to say it for what you used to have, but
Sure.
should I say this the way I should say this? 3D, just 3D, has made lazy archers.
I don't disagree. I
All
don't
right.
disagree. Yeah, I
So,
don't
so,
disagree.
so if I can shoot 3 arrows at a time, or I shoot 5 arrows at a time, I don't tire out as fast at 3 than I do 5.
Sure.
I don't care that it's a bigger dot and a bigger dot. It's still physicality is different, right? So like field, they still get a pretty good number at field for nationals, right? But field was the game. We didn't shoot rubber animals. We shot
No, we didn't.
paper in a field in the woods,
That's right.
and
That's
we
right.
shot from 80 yards to was it 11 feet, right? So
11 feet.
yeah,
That's right.
80 yards to 11 feet, 122 arrows a day,
Yes.
several days, and
Yes.
you can't get 3 deers to even. You tell them 122, they about die, right? So
Yeah.
I think that the 30 arrow round versus the 60 arrow round, just in general, goes well. Heck, I can shoot half as much. I'll go play that game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the truth.
Well, I don't disagree at all because I've shoot it. I mean, I've shot it all,
Yeah,
and I can tell you, shooting a 5 spot NFAA round is more taxing on me physically than shooting the Vegas a Vegas round.
Vegas
Now,
round, sure,
the Vegas round is more taxing on me mentally
maybe.
than the 5 spot. But but absolutely 100. And I even dropped my poundage and all to try and accommodate for that and everything. I mean, I am getting a little bit older, but still, I mean, that's a lot of arrows.
Yeah. I
That's
mean,
a lot of arrows. So I
and
don't disagree. I don't agree. I don't disagree with what you're saying at all. All I want to know is
but
what I'd like to know is are we going to do away with a 5 spot? Are we looking at the demise of a 5 spot right now? Is that what we're looking at?
I don't know, but I do feel that way.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel that the state level clubs are just wanting to do Vegas rounds for state championship.
Sure.
I
I
mean,
think South Carolina. I think South Carolina's doing it right now. Matter of fact.
and truthfully, right? The cool thing about it is, if I was a shop or a club, I can run a whole lot more people through in a smaller venue
Sure.
because you do your 30 errors, get out, bring the next crew in, 30 errors,
Next
get
time.
out. Now I just
Yep.
ran twice as many people as I could for one 5 spot round.
That's right.
Right.
That's
So
right.
you could, you could play that game too. It may be a money thing on top of it.
Maybe.
Oh, but yeah. So, I mean, I love 3D. Everybody knows that, but it makes for lazy archers.
It does. And I shoot 3D because 3D is popular. I
Oh,
love
very
field.
popular. Field is,
I'm a
dude.
field
That's the you. I have told, and everybody knows this. Everybody's heard this 1,000 times. Field shoot is my favorite shoot.
guy. Yes.
If you go shoot a field shoot, you will, by the end of the field shoot, you'll be exhausted.
Yes.
First and foremost, but you'll know more about your equipment and you as an archer than you ever shooting 25 different 3D tournaments.
100%.
There's
100%.
no doubt in my mind.
And there is a 99% chance you're going to shoot the wrong target the first time you do it.
Oh, for sure. It's because
I
if you
promise you.
remember when now that we don't have to do top to bottom, side to side, we just do side to side.
Side to side. That's right.
It used to be top to bottom and side to side. So if you're shooting top right, you're in the bottom left. Oh my God.
Now that it was a big mental.
Oh, for
It just
sure.
messes with your whole mental. Yeah.
And then depends on how you lay the range out. No, not knocking the club down there, but you got 14 targets, and now you're flipping twice.
2 times.
Yeah, because you got to do it twice.
Now back in that. Now I'm fixing to tell
shoot
you how old I am.
when you shoot 28 targets straight, and it's a
Yes.
straight 28 target course, you didn't have that issue.
Well, we had that back when, and like I say, I was fixing to tell you how old I am, but Ogeechee Bowman used to have a 28 target range.
Yes, they did.
And when we had the 28 target range, we had a 4-star range back then.
That's right.
And when we had the 28 target range, I think we even held nationals one year, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
We were like we held sectionals. Back then, you had to go to sectionals.
Yeah.
Right? So you had to travel to sectionals back then.
They only had one
sectional.
Yeah, they only had one sectional in that section.
Exactly.
That was way back because it didn't Florida can hold it or Tennessee can hold it or whatever. It was one place in that bid on it and got it.
That's right. That's right.
I
And
remember those
we
days.
were able to hold it, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, and Ricky Dietrich would probably smack me in the face if I tell you what year it was, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it was 1988. I think it was 1988 that we held it. For some reason, that's sticking out in my head. I don't know why. But anyways, 28 was a whole lot better than 14. I can tell you that.
All right, and 4 wide is a whole lot better than 2 wide.
Amen.
For sure. You believe in what's anything I do, right? If you ever shot any other courses besides, and I'm not knocking, what they got is what they got, right? And so I am so pleased to be able to have that, right? But the walkthrough courses that we shot in other places, right? You go shoot it, walk down, bring all your stuff, score your target, go to the next. It's like playing golf, right?
Yep.
It was some of the best there was, in my opinion. And there were 4 lanes wide. It was bombed. We could get it done a lot faster.
Have you ever been to North Florida?
Yes.
So North Florida has a walkthrough. They have one of the. I don't know if I think maybe Central Florida Archers has a walkthrough, but
Yeah,
I know North Florida and Jacksonville has a
Jacksonville. Yeah,
walkthrough. They still have the traditional walkthrough field course.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
pretty nice.
yeah. It is. It's really nice.
Oh, we got off on before we got finished. Well, anyway, who's shooting this weekend now? Curtis is headed that way, and a couple of other guys that I know are headed that way. So Curtis will be shooting that event in Chicago, and
Yeah,
824 of his best friends, I guess, which seems small, right?
it does.
Uh, anyway, so also this weekend, the Shootout series is having their gauntlet in Murfreesboro, Tennessee.
Tennessee.
So if you don't know about the Shootout series, it's multiple states run a series of events, and this is all indoor. And then they put all the scores in there, like regions, right? But it's you coming from this region, they're coming from that region, and they put them all in, and then the top whatever. If you've shot, there's a cutoff. There's a magic number that you had to score, right? I don't know what it is, but it's probably different for each division. But there's a magic number that you at least had to make,
Right.
where you shot 3 events plus the state championship to get in, and you had to have a certain number. Let's say that they were shooting a vertical 3 spot, 33. I guess it's like a Lancaster and half, so 330 would be half, right? So
Yep.
that was your total score. So let's say that you had to shoot at least a 600 because you had to do it, 3 times or whatever,
Right.
900 something, whatever it is. They had a special number, and then you get to go to the gauntlet, and the gauntlet is nothing more than what Lancaster does on the shoot up side.
Ah,
So they do 3 rounds instead of 4, and they stand on a podium and shoot off. And then number 4 goes against number 3, number 3, number 2, the winner to number 1, and so forth. And so it's the
so,
gauntlet
right. A bracket, basically.
brackets. Yep, it's not brackets. Not like the Sweet 16, not like your brackets that cut to 64, like the shoot up series.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got you. I understand that. I got you.
So it's the shoot up series. And they're also hosting what they call a last chance shoot. So they're hosting one more shoot so that you could drop one of your worst scores and bring it in so you could move your podium time, to like
Yeah.
you could better yourself for the main event. And it's going to be aired on YouTube.
Okay.
So the shootout series, we have a lot of archers going to that event. I remember us talking about different shooters and how we always look and see, what did this person shoot? What did that person shoot? Because you always know who's the top guys.
Sure.
Jesse Garrett is shooting, so
That's super cool.
he'll be shooting. His daughter is shooting. His sons are shooting. Um, Even the youngest one that shoots bows.
He shoots. He shoots out of Outlaw, right?
Yes. So
Yeah.
Outlaw helped with the Chattahoochee circuit
Okay.
because that's Georgia and Alabama, and they call it the Chattahoochee circuit.
Okay.
So a lot of the Outlaws are going to be at that event. So
A lot of
Allie,
Georgians.
oh yeah, and that's a lot of those are Georgians. So they'll
Okay.
all be at that event. Caden Frederick, Allie Teague, uh,
Okay.
Robbie Guyton. I mean, all of these guys are going. So
And this is and we're speaking about our Georgia Archers on Georgia Day. Just so everybody understands, we're doing this. Today is Georgia Day.
that's right.
That's what today is. Okay.
But yeah, so the Georgia Archers will be going to shoot the gauntlet. All right.
Super cool.
So that's pretty cool. And then reason it's up the top is because they'll shoot Friday, Saturday, and some Sunday. I think it's because they got so many groups and stuff. So they get the last chance. They'll have a last chance shoot on Friday and a last chance shoot on Saturday for those that are going to make the cut. Can get a chance to better themselves.
That's interesting. That's something I'd be interested in doing.
It's pretty cool. It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's
cool.
now. I've been following it. Honestly,
Yeah.
I have been following it the past 2 years. I've been watching it grow, and it's grown quite a bit. To be honest with you, and it's becoming very intriguing to me. the more I get into indoor. I wasn't never indoor is very scary for a lot of people, and I'm starting to get
Well, I'll tell you as a coach, because that's my first part right now. Is
right.
I'm a coach, right? And I'll tell you as a coach that indoor makes you a better archer. Period.
I think I don't disagree with
Let
that.
me tell you why. There's no wind. When I played 3D to start with, we had to judge yardage. Nobody had a known distance class.
Okay.
So the judging distance, the wind, the rain, the sun, the shadows, the whatever, all of that's out the window.
Hmm.
So now it's about you and that target and doing the exact same thing 30 times, 60 times, whatever.
120 times exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
So if you can do that, then what is one arrow every 13 minutes? you know, um, you know,
I agree. I 100% agree.
so you know what I mean. If you can conquer it, stand there and do it for 3 hours of pounding and stay in the dot and stay in the score. You got to be a better archer if you just don't shoot one arrow every 13 minutes because
Yeah.
you've mastered that. It's not our muscles have no brains, but you've heard the word muscle memory, right?
Sure.
Well, we've taught ourselves how to do it, what it should feel like, how it should be on a repetition basis. So now if you wait a while, and a deer hunter, I mean, they sit 3 days, 4 days, they'll draw their bow back 3 times in like 6 months. A lot of them. I mean, I hate to say that.
Well, some of them don't even draw their bow back all year long. Ask Daddy.
I'm gonna leave that alone. You're
Well,
starting
don't
something.
edit that part out because he needs to hear it. He needs to draw his bow back
I'm
more.
not. I'm not editing. This is the reason that we do it this way is so that we can try to not cut anything. Now, I did have to cut some squealing out from the headphone sound last week, but it's okay. And I'm hoping that the sound is balanced a lot better than last week's were, so that we won't have that problem. So,
I got some things coming from Amazon. We're gonna figure that part out.
did you get what I sent you a picture of?
Yeah, I did. I did.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's the gauntlet. And so there'll be a lot of folks. What's his name that shoots recurve? Big, tall. Oh God, I just lost his name.
Oh gosh.
He shot GBAA with us.
Chris Willard.
Chris Willard will be
Yes.
shooting the gauntlet. So Chris is going to shoot the gauntlet. So
Super cool.
Riley Frederick that married
Cole.
Cole.
Yeah.
She's shooting the gauntlet. So
Man,
like
she's a shooter.
a lot of folks that we know will be at the gauntlet. So we're going to root them on.
Riley's a shooter, man. I'm rooting for her.
Yep.
She's a shooter.
So that's the gauntlet. We got a good crowd of Georgians going, so we're going to root them on for sure.
Super cool. Super cool.
So also this weekend, there's this North 40 3D is having multiple registration shoot. He's like, you skipped over something. I did it on purpose.
No. Yeah.
North 40 is supposed to have a multiple day registration, so you can pay and shoot as many times as you want to.
Really?
That's the way it reads.
That's unique. Okay.
So it's something different.
Yeah, something different.
That's why it says multiple registration shoot.
Okay.
So, and he's doing his for 2 days.
And where's North Fort? That's Cochran, right?
Cochran, yep.
That's Cochran. Okay.
So, and then there's this little place down there in Richmond Hill.
Saltwater City, baby.
That's the Coastal Empire Archers. And if you don't follow them on YouTube, you might as well because they just released a new video from Lancaster.
We did.
Wasn't but 7 minutes long. That means you was enjoying yourself too much to film.
Man, I told everybody I'm bringing a videographer next year. I'm bringing somebody to follow us around and do it.
We'll talk about it. I mean, we're going to talk about things like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
but Coastal Empire is having an ASA qualifier, Tri-State qualifier. It's your shoot. Tell us about it and tell us why you're shooting 2 days and the whole 9 yards. Let's go.
Well, I mean, so I'm just basically following suit. I mean, I noticed there was a bunch of clubs last year that decided to do 2-day qualifiers, and and for us, down here, I always get the phone calls. Why don't you have a Sunday shoot, or why isn't it on Saturday, or why isn't it on Sunday? So basically, so what I did was I just said, man, the heck with it. What we're going to do on our qualifiers, we're just going to hold them both days. We'll
Yep.
just hold it Saturday and Sunday. You come down. It's casual registration. It's from 9 to 2, right? So
Yep.
you show up anywhere in between 9 o'clock and 2 o'clock, and you go shoot around on Saturday or Sunday, and then your score counts for your ASA qualifier.
That's cool. So yeah, so if you're an ASA shooter and you're chasing those shooter of the year points for Georgia, this does count for you.
Yes, it does, and
And
it
it can
counts as a
qualify you to shoot the
invitational
state.
to South Carolina and
Yep,
an invitational to Florida
that's
also.
right. Okay. So that's cool. So that's what's happening this weekend. On Saturday, the S3DA Indoor State Championships will be happening in Statesboro, which is the first year they've held it.
Is it really?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
That's surprising, actually.
Well, yes. And you didn't see the facility we've been in the last 3 years. It's a beautiful facility in Banks County. It's the wrestling facility of the high school, and it is a immaculate little place. Holds everybody, got enough targets to do the event, enough room to do everything they need to do. And it's been a very beautiful place, and nothing's wrong with it. But we've been there 3 or 4 years in a row.
Okay.
You shot in the gym in Social Circle one year, right? 5 spot.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I've
Well,
shot there. I think 2 or 3
yeah.
times. Yeah.
So we hosted the S3DA championships the year before that. That it
Okay.
went to this new venue, and so there was a different venue, which is great, right? So that'll be interesting for people who've never been there. They'll see how that Georgia has a premier indoor shooting facility that's really nice, that's set up, all the time to shoot. That'll be good. I think it's 110 or 112 shooters registered for the state.
Wow.
And the way you had to shoot a qualifier to shoot state, so it's like ASA in that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like a lot of these kids shot multiple qualifiers, but some of them only shot one to get there, and then you had to shoot two to stay in shooter of the year. So um, you know, so we're going to be down
Okay.
there. Georgia Archery will be down there on Saturday. I won't make the 8 o'clock line, but I'll be there around 11 and be there through the 1 o'clock line and
Okay.
finish up with the awards. So that's where I'll be on Saturday. Also, Team On Point's having a 3D shoot
Yes, they are.
at Wildwood Park. Isn't that where they're having it?
Wildwood State Park. I
Yeah.
think that's where it's at. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're having their shoot on Saturday. And then on Sunday, like I said, the two places are having 2-day shoots is North 40 and Coastal Empire. So you can shoot somewhere this weekend for sure. I will say this, and this has nothing to do with, if you're an S3DA shooter and you're signed up to shoot that event, it ain't that far to Richmond Hill for the next day if you want to go down and shoot ASA.
Now we're about 45 minutes away from that because I go up to Statesboro all the time and shoot with Cassie up there, and we're about 45 minutes away. That's
Yeah.
about
So,
the trek is.
so if you're plotting your stuff, and then Cochrane ain't really, if you depends on which way you're coming in, but
Yeah, that's right. If you go up 16, I think Cochrane is about for me. Cochrane is right at 3 hours. I think.
yeah,
So.
but I'm saying if they're coming from north and they're trying to
Sure.
make the trek back, that's what they'd rather do. But an ASA qualifier is a qualifier, right? I mean,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
so yeah, that's.
You get your points number one, and
Yep.
then you get your invitational number two.
Guess what? I don't have a 3D bow set up.
Mm, that's a problem.
Yes, it is.
So evidently, but basically what you're saying is you're not going to Foley this year. Is that what you're saying, John?
I am not going to Foley this year.
Don't worry, I got you covered, brother.
Go ahead and get me covered because I will not be at Foley.
I will be filming at Foley. That is one of my favorite events. Let me tell you something. If you can pick one, and I don't want to jump off of what we're talking about, but if you can pick one event of the year, I mean, indoor, outdoor, all that, it's got to be Foley for me. Honestly, it just is. It
You're a
just is.
beach guy.
Yeah, I'm a beach guy. Yeah,
It's it's gonna be cold.
yeah, yeah. Well, you know,
You're you just it just looks like home. Don't
it
lie.
is. It's exactly that's exactly
It
what it
looks like
is.
home. Don't lie. It's just an extension of your house. I understand. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, Foley is a lot of fun. There's no doubt about it. It's first one a year. It makes it a big deal. You can from people from the north get to come out of snow and come on down, and they'll be
That's
walking around. They'll be walking around t-shirts and shorts and flip flops, and you're thinking, "What the hell? It's only 40 degrees," but it's warm for them.
that's right.
But yeah, so Foley's a great thing. That's always fun. But if things go the way I hope they go, I should be whatever they change the name to. Phoenix City, whatever, Alabama, whatever they called it. It was Fort Benning
Fort
forever.
Benning.
It's not Benning anymore. They changed the name.
They
But
changed it.
huh?
They changed it back.
Oh, is it officially back? I don't know.
Yes, I
Okay.
believe I read he changed all of the bases that had their names changed.
Yep.
He's already
Okay.
fixed,
But
fixed.
however,
Yeah.
Fort
However,
Benning has been Fort Benning forever. If things
Fort
go
Moore, Fort Benning, Phoenix City, whatever. Yeah.
if things go the way I would like them to go, which if the bow gets here in time
Hmm.
and I can get it worked out. Now, don't get me wrong, I could switch mine over, but it's going to be a little slow, right, for what I want.
Yeah.
Um, so if the new bow gets here in time, and I talked to them today, and I said, "Hey, I really would love to have it for the next ASA, the second ASA of the year." And they said, "Shouldn't be a problem. I should have it before then." So, and then I sent a message to somebody else because I don't have my hunting bow either, and I was like, "Hey, I need a tack bow."
Oh Lord.
So, when you make a switch, right? Sometimes it takes a little while to get your equipment in, especially if you switch late like I did.
Yeah, you switch kind of late, and I'm listen. I'm not knocking the switch, but I'm glad I don't have to switch. Is all I got to say.
Oh, and I didn't have to switch. I mean, that's the
No.
fact. I didn't have to, and it was just something. It was something time to do something different, and it wasn't no big deal. And I will say, and you like you said it last week in the verbally whatever. I appreciate it. That bow's shooting good. Um, if I get a little more time behind that bow, it's gonna be monstrous. There's no doubt in my mind. Um,
That's
so
a that's a really good shooting bow. It's a good feeling bow. It's a good
yeah,
shooting bow. And you shot it to put that thing together, man, 3 days
that's
and
right.
come and shoot the score you shot and you shot what, maybe 2 times, something like that before you came out there and shot the
Yeah,
state indoor. I
I
mean,
had like
that's
100, I had 100 shots in it. Yeah.
yeah, that's a good that's a good round. That's not a good score to put up. If I mean, heck, you ain't even give the strings time to stretch yet. You know what I
Well,
mean?
no, but not. I'm gonna have to give a shout out to Gas because they build some good strings, and I put them on from day one.
Oh, that's right. You had the system. You put the
I have the new
System X
System
on
X
that thing.
strings on my. Yep, I have the
Oh,
System.
that's right. Yeah. So
So
there
they
you
they
go.
build they build a good set of strings, and I had no
Yes.
problems with the string at all.
Yeah.
And I found
I
out
shoot.
that like you
So I shoot my gas or the freaks. I shoot the
freak
freak
show.
show.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the freak
I
shows.
had a freak show on the other bow
I
that
love the
I
freak
used to
shows.
shoot,
Ever
and
since
it
I've
was
been
great.
shooting freak shows, man,
Yep.
let me tell you something. My string stretch is
Oh,
zero.
zero. That's
I
right.
don't get nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Gas Eric and that team, they do a phenomenal job building strings. There's no doubt about it. There's a
Oh,
lot of good string builders out there though. But that's who I like. Me and Eric we go a long way back. We good friends, been friends for a long time. Um, and they've never, I've had no problems. I had a bow that I know had probably I don't know. I want to say 25, 35, maybe 40,000 shots on in a 2 year period, and I put it back in the press or in the drawboard, and nothing had moved.
nothing moved. Yeah.
Nothing.
Nothing moved.
You
Yeah.
can't. That's
That's right.
phenomenal. So
Yeah. That's right.
anyway, that's what that is, and but yeah, I guess you're tied up at the range all weekend.
I am tied up at the range all weekend. Unfortunately, I cannot
Yep.
come out to Statesboro. I'd love if I would have known prior to me making my schedule, I
Oh
would
yeah,
have loved to come out to Statesboro
for sure.
because
You're.
we are we're fixing to dabble in that S3DA
Yep.
venture, and
Yep.
I want to see it firsthand
That's
first.
right. Mm-hmm.
So I'd love to, but unfortunately, I'm all weekend long. I'm there.
It is what it is, and that's
It
not a
is what it
problem.
is.
But I'll be down Statesboro and I'll be taking some pictures. I may even set up the 3 camera video and do some editing and push a video out with some shooting and some stuff going on. So who knows? And my buddy Robbie will be there. So we may get
That's
a little
awesome. Yeah.
we may get a little talk in. Robbie's he misses us. He misses doing this. Just things are
One of
not.
these days we gonna get him on here on a
Oh, oh,
try
for sure.
podcast.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get back. Look, I told somebody like the plan is to get this going, get it doing, and then get everybody back in their right places. Like you said, you're gonna try to work your magic, get some mics working, that kind of stuff. And I appreciate you coming in and filling in because my little 7 minute podcast the other day is not, it don't I don't have anybody to play off of, and
Right.
so it's
Yeah.
like da da
Yeah.
da 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 da, and it's quick and easy and it's out of there. But I appreciate you doing this. If you didn't hear your name called and you're supposed to be hosting a shoot this weekend, you need to send me a message at Georgia Archery. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on the Twitter, which is now X. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on TikToks and Snapchats. So if you want to send us a message and get you on the calendar, this calendar and all this information can be found at www.georgiaarchery.com. I will say I uploaded all those GBAA pictures the other day after we talked about it. And yes, a lot of folks went through and found a bunch of pictures. So I'm glad y'all did. We enjoy doing that. Upload those pictures and everybody gets a different shot because everybody doesn't get shots of themselves shooting a bow, so that's
No,
pretty
we
cool.
don't.
Yeah. You can hear this audio version of this podcast on anywhere that you can download podcast. We're on Apple, we're on Amazon, we are on Spotify, we are on Google, it's everywhere. So you can find this and more. Please be sure to click the like and subscribe on all of these different platforms because it helps us more than you know for sure. But if you need other information, we're doing things on the website. There's actually a countdown on the front page that says countdown to the first ASA of the year. So it's counting down the countdown to the first ASA because that's a pretty big event, right?
It
Uh,
is.
and we have the calendar and we have the, I'm reworking the club location thing. I'm going to go in there and change it around and put everybody because I don't even think your club's listed if I ain't mistaken.
I had some issues. I've been having issues with my. That's if y'all follow me and
Yep.
y'all liked that post of mine this weekend, I've changed that address about 6 times today because Google don't like that range for whatever reason. It don't like to pin it, so I had to go in and manually.
Do you know why?
Yeah. So
Do
anyway,
you understand why? Because it's already pinned to Richmond Hill.
well, I
Not.
pinned it to Richmond Hill,
Yep.
but Richmond Hill, if you, anyways, it's a big long thing.
But that's what it is when
Yeah,
Google sees it as it can't be two businesses in one place a lot of times. So I understand
yeah.
that. I went through that same thing. But the plan is to revamp the locator for shops and um, uh, clubs. So as you heard that, if you don't see your clubs, send me your club information. We really need addresses, names of the clubs, and a web page or a Facebook page or where they can find more information about. Because I've seen posts in the past that say, hey, Georgia Schmosha is shooting this weekend. Well, where's Georgia Schmosha? It doesn't tell me. I don't know where that is. I don't know where XYZ is shooting. I don't even know where that place is located. And then they get on later and say, we didn't have but 7 shooters. Well, you didn't give anybody an address. So if you don't give anybody an address, they don't know how to find you. So we give this out a bunch. Share this video. It's on YouTube. We post it, and there's a few shorts. Did you see your short?
I seen my short. I appreciate that short.
So there's a little short on the thing. So yeah, but yeah, that's how you find us, and that's how you can contact us. And if you want us to talk about something, I mean, I have some stuff lined up. Some people had asked me about, so we're going to talk about some arrows.
Okay.
What you'll probably see some polls coming out pretty soon about what size arrow that people use, what size field tip or tip weight people use for 3D, because that's what's been asked a bunch here lately.
Oh God, I get beat up about that all. Oh my God,
What
I can't
what
even say.
what size is right? What tip weight? Well, let me tell you what. If you got Tim Gillingham's number, he can tell you exactly what you need to shoot with your with your.
And it'll take about 3 hours for me to explain it to you.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, until next time, I'm Big John,
I'm DeWayne.
and we'll see you.
We'll see ya.